What makes us human? What is the meaning for our existence? These questions are multifaceted questions, with answers ranging from our unique cognitive abilities and emotional responses all the way to our capacity for culture and the pursuit of meaning. Renowned philosophers like Plato and Aristotle have questioned these aspects of human existence. But there is also an anime out there which delves into these two questions with its story and setting. The anime Parasyte and Maxim also delves into these two philosophical questions as large parts of the story's main setting. In today's video, I wanted to do a small video essay-esque video about Parasyte and Maxim and why it is so well liked by the audience at large. For starters, let's just talk about the anime in question for the people who might not know anything about it. Parasyte the Maxim follows the life of ordinary high school student Izumi Shinichi. Shinichi is a bit of a passive boy, but otherwise a totally normal guy with friends and a rather uneventful school life. All of this changes one fateful evening when an unknown number of small objects descend from the sky. Under the guise of the night's darkness, these foreign objects land all over the world. A worm-like creature hatches from the foreign object and notices Shinichi relaxing in his room. Meanwhile, Shinichi himself is totally oblivious to the alien entity approaching him. He is just listening to music and is totally engrossed in his own little world. The creature attempts to enter Shinichi's nose for a purpose we can only imagine, but Shinichi reflexively sneezes and a confrontation takes place. The creature enters into Shinichi's arm and tries to burrow its way upward, but Shinichi cleverly uses his headphone wires to trap the creature in his arm. The commotion unsurprisingly wakes up his parents, who come to check up on him. He tries to explain to them that a snake has entered into his arm, but his parents understandably don't really believe him, as when he tries to show them, not a trace of it can be found. Did he imagine all of it? Was this some sort of fever dream, a hallucination perhaps? Shinichi ponders as he slowly falls asleep. But the next day, he discovers that a parasitic creature has taken over his arm. The creature Migi reveals itself to Shinichi. Migi explains that he failed to take over his intended target, Shinichi's brain, due to Shinichi's quick thinking of the prior evening. Shinichi is now stuck with the reality that parasites that can take over humans actually exist, and one of them is now functioning as his right hand. He will now have to make a choice: coexist with this new roommate of sorts, or see it as an enemy. Parasyte the Maxim revolves around this unique relationship between Migi, a parasite that failed to fully take over its host, and Shinichi, a human who slowly starts thinking about the question of how human he still actually is. This relationship is a very strong base to center your franchise around, all the more so since these two characters are physically part of the same entity, the main character. Migi is a part of Shinichi, and in a way, Shinichi is also a part of Migi. Both influence one another throughout the show. Migi's race is initially incapable of understanding human emotions such as happiness, sadness, grief, desire, empathy, etc., whilst humanity cannot comprehend the existence of emotionless entities who feed on human beings simply because nature has seemingly imprinted them with this sole purpose. Migi has stated himself that the only primal desire he has felt ever since hatching from his egg was to take over a human host and consume the entire human race. This mission was seemingly imprinted on him by nature itself. To those who do not know what I mean by imprinting here, allow me to explain. The concept of several things being imprinted within nature exists outside of Parasyte the Maxim in our own world. Think about how a spider instinctively knows how to spin its web, or how a baby turtle instinctively knows that it needs to find its way to the sea. These natural instincts are seemingly imprinted on the animal's DNA. They have never been taught to do any of these things, and yet they know how to do them and that they must do them. The mission to exterminate the human race is also imprinted on the parasite's psyche within Parasyte the Maxim. Nature has given them this mission to carry out. They don't know why they have this mission, they simply know it to be their mission. This is also why they are so driven to consume a human as their host. The way parasites are set up is that they are innately cannibalistic and cannot reproduce. Due to their imprinted mission of taking out the human race, it is imperative that they take over an actual human host. This is why Migi, Joe, and the dog parasite all consider themselves to have failed their biological mission. But in the case of Migi and Joe, something interesting occurs. Since they feed off of the nutrients in their host's bloodstream, they do not actually feel the need to consume humans. But something even more interesting occurs. Several parasites who have actually taken over their human host successfully are interested in coexisting with humans rather than straight up exterminating them. The most interesting one among these parasites is Tamiya Ryoko. Ever since the beginning, she has been interested in coexisting with humans. She even went as far as to impregnate her human host with a child. This creates a very interesting dynamic between her and Shinichi. Ryoko is a parasite who has a human growing inside of her, and Shinichi is a human who has a parasite inside of him. This dynamic is already interesting enough as it is, but what really enhances the viewing experience of this show is that you can see Shinichi slowly becoming less human, whilst Ryoko slowly becomes more human over the show's duration. This creates various character developmentary episodes for Shinichi where he questions his own humanity and how much of it he actually has left. We can see Shinichi slowly transition from a very emotional child to a nearly emotionless individual who barely feels anything when something or someone dies. Ironically, it's thanks to the parasite Tamiya Ryoko's humanity that Shinichi recovers his own lost humanity. Her motherhood of her human baby overpowered her instinct to consume humanity. In a way, she became more human than Shinichi was at that moment. The dichotomy between Ryoko and Shinichi is easily my favorite part of the show. Their complete contrast to one another combined with their similarities makes for one of the best interactions in the series. But Tamiya Ryoko also brings up a very interesting point. Are the parasites actually wrong? The parasites simply follow their natural directive to eat, and it just so happens that a human parasite functions the best while eating human meat. From Shinichi's perspective, these actions appear inhumane, but that word holds the key. Inhumane. Something that is not human or something that does not abide by human values. Why would a non-human follow human standards? Everything we call inhumane is simply derived from what our species, the humans, think is wrong. But Ryoko suggests a very interesting counter perspective. Does a pig think humans are above it? Humans hoard and raise cattle for the sole purpose of eating them. Does the cattle not think of humans as being inhumane by the cattle standards? The concept of inhumane actions does not really exist outside of human perception. So then why is it wrong for the parasites to hypothetically raise humans for consumption? From the human perspective, these actions would seem inhumane, right? But how about the pig's perspective or the cow's perspective? These actions would not be in Parasyte, so to say. It is very interesting to see how over the course of the series, partially due to the influence of Migi, we see Shinichi start to disregard the life of organisms quote-unquote below him. Because while some might say he is becoming inhumane, is he really? Do you not think of the steak on your plate as just a piece of meat rather than a cow? So why would a dead puppy Shinichi found not be just a piece of meat instead of a dog? This perspective brought on by Tamiya Ryoko forces us to question ourselves. What does it mean to be human, as well as why do we even exist? For what purpose are we out here doing what we are doing? Parasyte the Maxim is a very good show that really forces us to ask ourselves these questions. Can something non-human be considered humane? Can a human be inhumane? What even is humanity? This show really is ideal for those who want to watch a story about philosophy, human psyche, the unknown, and the relationship between these things. There is a good reason this show has overwhelmingly positive reviews. It is a very good watch for those who are interested in asking themselves these questions and are just interested in an anime that goes beyond just a surface level story. I highly recommend everyone to watch this show or rewatch it, but this time maybe from the perspective of the parasites. But I will leave you all with this question to answer in the comments down below. What actually makes you human? Thank you guys for watching today's video. I had a ton of fun writing this video essay of sorts of an anime I had long forgotten for the longest time, but it just suddenly resurfaced in my mind and I just had to watch it again. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and let me know your opinions in the comments down below. Work hard, study well, eat and sleep plenty, and I will see you all again in the next video. Peace out.